Hello and welcome, viewers. You're watching Live and Breaking here on Republic. I'm Rukma with you, and after the headlines, it's time to take you through the news in detail. Starting off with our top story. The face-off on the border may be over, but politicking continues as Congress MP Manish Tiwari gives an adjournment motion notice in the Lok Sabha to discuss the situation at the border with China in Tawang sector of Arunachal Pradesh. And joining us now is Gursimran. Gursimran, take us through this breaking development and adjournment motion here in New Delhi, in the Lok Sabha. The Congress MP Manish Tiwari has given an adjournment motion notice. So even as the face-off on the border is long over, the Indian Army having pushed back PLA soldiers and reclaimed that territory, well, here the politicking over the issue continues. Now we have an adjournment notice. Over to you.
See, this is how the political parties are trying to politicize the issue of the national security. There have been twin statements on the floor of the House by the Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh, wherein he has made it amply clear that what has unfolded and how the forces have stood firm against the Chinese intrusion attempt. See, we have seen the expansionist policy of the China not coming to an end. Earlier, first in Doklam, then in Galwan, and now in the Tawang sector, the China has resorted to these kind of tactics. What actually the Chinese side was trying to do is that they were trying to take the advantage of the change of the unit in the particular area that was about to happen, and the Chinese side was planning to take the advantage of the same. But the Indian troops, they were well aware of the Chinese plot that the Chinese side is hatching, and also keeping in view the recent incidents that have unfolded. First is the Galwan clashes, and then in the October month of 2021, that is last year, in the same sector there was an attempt, a similar kind of attempt by the Chinese side. However, there were no clashes, and the Chinese were pushed back when India objected to the China's move. So the Indian side was well aware of the fact that the China will try to occupy the heights, because these are the strategically very important heights. One who occupies these heights is considered to be one who is ruling this sector, because this is a 17,000 feet height, and when you occupy this height, then you have a clear-cut vision of what the enemy is doing, and China wants to occupy these kind of heights that the India is having, because in these areas India is having a strategic depth due to these kind of heights. So that was the plot of the Chinese side. But the deployment, there is a 4-point deployment of the Indian Army in this very area, and that has been done in the recent past. And also the infrastructure development that the Indian Army has done, the road connectivity, that has left the Chinese side by a surprise, because what the Chinese side were expecting, that there will be only a handful of the Indian soldiers, somewhat 50 Indian soldiers, 200 Chinese soldiers. This was what they have expected. But the QRT teams that responded within 30 minutes, that has taken Chinese aback by the surprise that they never expected. And Indian side, when the additional reinforcement reached that very spot, then the Chinese side had no option other than to push to go back, and that is what has actually happened. That is the story of the Tawang that actually happened in the night of 9th and 10th of December. And then the flag meeting was called, and the situation came to a normal. You see what has happened in the Galwan and post-Galwan. The situation cannot be said to be completely normal, but yes, there are no clashes post that. There is no one-to-one confrontation that has taken place. But since this area is one where the line of actual control is line of perception, then there are many a times when these kind of issues arise. But Indian side has made it amply clear that not even an inch of the area that is with the Indian side will be given to the Chinese side.
Right, Gursimran. Yesterday, the government, that's Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh, had clarified, as the opposition had wanted, had clarified India's entire position. We had seen all those comments coming in, targeting the government, but after the Raksha Mantri's clarification, the Indian government's clarification of all that happened and how peace reigns now, and even about the flag meeting, all the details, well, we're seeing an adjournment motion. Well, all eyes will be on that. What is the opposition's aim right now?
See, this is an attempt by the opposition to get a revival. We have seen what has happened to the opposition parties in the recent the elections, and they are seeing it as a lifesaver for their political innings, and there is nothing other than that. See, we have seen yesterday a series of meetings taking place, and these issues, when it comes to the border conflicts, they are best to leave to the forces on ground. Raising a question saying that why it has happened and what the forces has done is something that could have been avoided, but unfortunately some of the political parties are resorting to these kind of tactics where they are trying to target the union government by questioning the forces. That won't help, but that will also serve the purpose of the enemy, which is trying to divide the country, which is trying to de-strengthen the India, because we have seen that these brave hearts, be it the 1962 and the wars that followed, they have given the supreme sacrifice. That is for us people who are sitting at our homes and they are working here at minus 20 degree, minus 30 degree, even during the intense snowfall where when the area remains cut off for almost 3 to 4 months. They are here for us. So if we start questioning them, then it will be a demoralizing factor for them. So these things needs to be taken sincerely by the political parties, that yes, there is a need of debate, but when the things have been clarified, there should not be any politics.
Many thanks, Gursimran, for joining us there and for giving us those details. Gursimran on his way to Tawang, where the face-off had taken place. Tawang in Arunachal Pradesh is in the eastern sector of the line of actual control. Moving on now to other breaking